Curriculum. Curriculum development. Curriculum is defined as four things. The first is the learning experiences and intended outcomes formulated through systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences under the auspices of the school for the learner's continuous and willful growth in personal social competence or the cumulative tradition of organized knowledge. Second, it is the sum total of all learning content, experiences, and resources that are purposely selected, organized, and implemented by the school in pursuit of its peculiar mandate as a distinct institution of learning and human development. Third, curriculum is defined as that what is taught in school, set of subjects, materials, and performance objectives. Everything that goes on within the school, including extra class activities, guidance, and interpersonal relationships in the school. Curriculum is also defined as the planned and guided learning experiences and intended learning outcomes, formulated through the systematic reconstruction of knowledge and experiences under the auspices of the school for the learner's continuous and willful growth in personal social competence. There are different levels of curriculum. We have four: the societal, institutional, instructional, and the experiential. Then the societal level of curriculum, it is the farthest from the learners since this is where the public stakeholders such as the politicians, special interest groups, administrators, professional specialists participate in identifying the goals, the topics to be studied, time to be spent in teaching and learning, and also the materials to aid instruction. The second level is the institutional level, and it refers to the curriculum that is derived from the societal level. The institutional level of curriculum is the modification of local educators or lay people. It is often organized according to subjects and includes topics and themes to be studied. It may also include standards, philosophies, lesson plans, and teaching guides. The third is the instructional level of curriculum. It refers to how teachers use the curriculum developed in the societal level and modified in the institutional level, or what authorities have determined. It involves the teacher's instructional strategies, styles, and materials used. Lastly is the experiential level of curriculum. It is the curriculum perceived and experienced by each student and may therefore vary among learners because of individual differences. So again, the different levels of curriculum are societal, institutional, instructional, and experiential. So, societal is where the public stakeholders participate in identifying goals, topics, time spent for teaching, learning, and materials. Institutional, it's derived from societal, modified by local educators or lay people, and it can include topics, themes to be studied, and standards, philosophies, lesson plans, and teaching guides. Instructional level, how teachers use the curriculum developed in societal level and modified. It is also the instructional strategies of the teacher, styles, and materials used. Lastly, experiential level, of course, experienced by the student. Next, we go to the three major types of curriculum. We have the subject-centered curriculum. Then we have the learner-centered curriculum, and finally the problem-based curriculum. So let's go first to the subject-centered curriculum. When we say subject, it emphasizes on well-organized subject by lecture, on improving teaching of subject matter, and on uniformity of exposures. It's on teaching facts and knowledge for future use. So the questions that are focused on this kind of curriculum is what rather than why or how. So it conforms to patterns set by curriculum. Subject design. So for under subject-centered curriculum, we have the different kinds of design. We have the subject design, the discipline design, correlated design, fused subjects, broad fields design, and spiral curriculum. So we have six. Let's start with the subject design. It is the oldest and the most familiar design for teachers, parents, and other laymen. It is easy to deliver since complementary books are written and support instructional materials are commercially available. So it's easy. Next one is the discipline design, or another name is separate or single subject. It is related also to subject design, but it focuses only on academic discipline or organized subject matter area, which is referred to specific knowledge learned through a method which the scholars use to study a specific content of their fields. Teachers should teach how the scholars in the discipline will convey the particular knowledge. It is often used in the college in which discipline becomes the degree program. So discipline design often used in college and it becomes the degree program. Again, the first two are the subject design and the discipline design. The third one is correlated design. It comes from a core. Correlated curriculum that links separate subject designs in order to reduce fragmentation, isolation, or compartmentalization. So that is subjects in two or more areas are related in content and time. Maybe factual. Facts relate subjects. Descriptive, normative, but the subject identities remain. Again, correlated subject design that has subjects in two or more areas are related in content and time. So, for example, math and science, and music and math. The fourth is the fuse subjects. It's similar to correlated, but the individual identity of each subject is lost. Again, fuse subjects mean that the identity of each subject is lost. For example, social studies. It is combined a combination of geography, culture, history. And we also have language. So reading, speaking, listening, and writing are all taught. So that's language. So those are fused. Identity is lost. Social studies, language. Next is broad fields design. Its another name is interdisciplinary. It's broadening and integration or fusion of several subjects on longer time blocks. It integrates through principles or themes or historical integration of subjects like humanities program or general science. General science has biology, chemistry, and physics. So, broad fields design combines two or more related subjects into a single broad field of study, like language arts, which combines reading, spelling, writing, speaking, listening, and composition. So, broad fields design or interdisciplinary is commonly found in elementary and middle grades. On the contrary, discipline design is commonly found in the degree programs in college. And finally, we have the spiral curriculum. This is very easy. It's the spiral concept of the curriculum provides for both horizontal, meaning the widening of knowledge, and vertical, the deepening of knowledge. The aspects of curriculum design simultaneously. Horizontal, vertical, simultaneously. The second major type of curriculum. So the first one is subject centered curriculum. The second is learner centered. So we have about five. Learner-centered emphasizes on all-around growth of learners. So syempre, learner-centered on meaningful immediate use of learning, on understanding and improving through active dynamic process, on parts flow together as a whole with continuous fusion and merging. So we have activity based, child centered, experience centered, process oriented, and humanistic design. So for activity based, it is based on the child's need, but there is no advanced planning. May necessitate special subjects for specialized interests, use of problem solving method, and cooperative planning. Child centered focuses on normal, custom made activities for children with no advanced planning made as well, but the learner is not considered as a passive individual, but as one who engages with his or her environment. Child-centered, the child is engaged in her environment. One learns by doing, and the learners interact with the teachers and the environment. The proponents of child-centered curriculum are John Dewey, Rousseau, Pestalozzi, and Froebel. Again, the proponents are John Dewey, Rousseau, Pestalozzi, and Froebel. The third one is the experience centered design. Experiences of the learners become the starting point of the curriculum. The school environment is left open and free, since the interests and needs of learners cannot be pre planned. Learners are made to choose from various activities that the teacher provides. The learners are empowered to shape their own learning from the different opportunities given by the teacher, and the activities revolve around different emphases, such as touching, feeling, imagining, constructing, relating, etc. Hence, the emergence of multiple intelligence theory blends well in this design, which is the experience centered design. Experience centered design, multiple intelligence theory, and experienced. Again, the first one is activity based, second is child centered, third is experience centered design, and the fourth is the process oriented. It focuses on personal attributes and skills of individual learners in ever widening circles of self, others, and society, like working well with others, effective leadership, giving and following directions, making judgments, decision making, and planning. So, process oriented emphasizes development of skills and traits that will serve the learner for life. It's a process, it's for life. There is a higher degree of carryover into everyday living experiences than in other designs, and a better balance between affective and cognitive considerations. For example, teaching thinking skills and public speaking skills. Finally, we have the humanistic design. It is the development of self. So it is the ultimate objective of learning. It stresses the whole person and the integration of thinking, feeling, and doing. It focuses also in the development of positive self concept and interpersonal skills. The concept of self actualization applies here as well as self directed learning. So, the proponents of the humanistic design under the learner centered curriculum are Abraham Maslow and Carl Rogers. The third major type of curriculum is the problem based curriculum. It's society or cultural based. It emphasizes on problem solving processes and skills on human and social relations more than content acquisition. So we have only two, the life situations design and the core, which is the social function. Life situation designs, another is social process and life functions focused, uses the past and present experiences of the learners as a means to analyze the basic areas of living. The pressing immediate problems of the society and the students' existing concerns are utilized. It focuses heavily on society, that is, social processes, functions, or problems become the center of the design of the curriculum. This design is focused heavily on society. A major goal is the improvement of society through the direct involvement of the schools. So that's the life situations design for the improvement of society. And last one, we have the core social function. It focuses on the set of learning experiences that are felt to be essential for all students that includes common needs, problems, concerns. Centers on general education and the problems are based on common human activities. Its underlying process is to create a universal sense of inquiry, discourse, and understanding among learners of different backgrounds and aspirations. Broad areas of concern are examined, and set of learning experiences intended to promote a common body of knowledge are carefully prepared. Next, we have the types of curriculum operating in schools. So this is very easy. We have the recommended, the written, the taught, the supported, assessed, learned, and hidden. The recommended curriculum. So most of the school curricula are recommended. The curriculum may come from a national agency like DepEd or DOST, or any professional organization like PAFTE that has stake in education. Has stake in education. Next, we have written curriculum. This includes documents, course of study, or syllabi handed down to the schools, districts, division, departments, or colleges for implementation. Most of these are written by the experts with participation of the teachers. Examples are the BEC, written lesson plan and planned activities of the teachers. Next, we have taught curriculum. The different planned activities which are put into action in the classroom and are implemented in order to arrive at the objectives or purposes of the written curriculum. Supported curriculum. These are materials that support or help the implementation of a written curriculum, such as textbooks, computers, audiovisual materials, laboratory equipment, playgrounds, and other facilities. Assessed curriculum. This refers to a tested or evaluated curriculum. Learned curriculum refers to the learning outcomes achieved by the students, which are indicated by the results of the tests and changes in behavior. Hidden curriculum. This is the unintended curriculum which is not deliberately planned but may modify behavior or influence learning outcomes. We have two foundations. We have the sociological foundations and the philosophical foundations. Society and culture relate to curriculum in the sense that they are part of the basis and sources of many curriculum matters and decisions. Whatever changes there are in them, education in general and curriculum in particular are affected. The societal changes or forces that affect the school and hence the curriculum. These include the cultural traditions, moral values, and laws. The philosophical foundations. Philosophy is the starting point in any curriculum. Again, philosophy is the starting point in any curriculum decision making and is the basis for all subsequent decisions regarding curriculum. Philosophy gives direction to curriculum and becomes the criteria for determining the aims, selection, organization, and implementation of the curriculum in the classroom and the school in general. The school's underlying beliefs and values have impact on curriculum content and choices of appropriate strategies, activities in implementing the curriculum. Philosophy helps us answer the general questions such as what are schools for? What subjects are of value? How should students learn the content? So we have different areas of philosophies. I'm sure you're familiar. Let's begin first with the idealism, realism, pragmatism, existentialism, perennialism, essentialism, progressivism, and reconstructionism. Let's start with idealism. Idealism is the importance of the mind and spirit and of developing them in the learner. Reality is in the ideas, independent of sense and experience. Abstract thinking is the highest form. Second is realism. Realism is that truth can be tested or proven. Knowledge derived from sense experience. Exercising the mind, logical, and abstract thinking are highest form. Pragmatism. Man can know anything within his experience. Existentialism. Reality is a matter of individual existence. The meaning of life is what each individual makes. Focus on conscious awareness of choice. Perennialism, focus on past and permanent studies, mastery of facts and timeless knowledge. Essentialism, that's essentialism. Next is progressivism. Essentialism. Essentialism are essential skills and academic subjects. Mastery of concepts and principles of subject matter. Progressivism is the knowledge that leads to growth and development, a living learning process. It focuses on active and relevant learning. Finally, we have reconstructionism. It is to improve and reconstruct society. Education for change and social reform. awareness of societal needs and problems, quest for a better society. Then we have the historical foundations. Historical foundation of curriculum reflects the educational focus prevalent during a particular period or event in Philippine history. This focus could be made basis or model for curriculum development of recent years. So we have the pre-Spanish, Spanish, American, Commonwealth, Japanese, New Society, and the Fourth Republic. Again, pre-Spanish, Spanish, American, Commonwealth, Japanese, New Society, Fourth Republic. Again, pre-Spanish focused on practical training to satisfy basic needs for survival and to transmit social ideas, customs, beliefs, and traditions. Training done in the homes. Spanish focus on the learning of the Christian doctrine, religion. The course of study is not centralized, no grade level, and it is rote memorization. American focused on establishing the public school system, highly influenced by the philosophy of John Dewey. The spread of democracy. The course of study is prescribed, uniform, and centralized. Commonwealth focused on the development of moral character, personal discipline, civic conscience, and vocational efficiency, as provided for in the 1935 Constitution. Japanese focus on promoting the East Asia co-prosperity sphere, educational objective, spread of new Asian order, use of threat and punishment. Course of study is prescribed, uniform and centralized, rote memorization, and use of threat and punishment. New society is focused on national development goals, manpower training, high level professions, self actualization. And Fourth Republic focused on promotion of the rights of all citizens to quality education. Finally, we have the educational philosophy. We have four: metaphysics, epistemology, logic, and axiology. Metaphysics is the study of what is beyond the natural, what is real, is true. Systematic analysis of the question of ultimate reality, fundamental existence of reality, developed during the Middle Ages. Epistemology is the truth about the nature of knowledge. It has to do with effective approaches to teaching and recognizes the importance of education. It asks what is true, how we know, and what we know. Logic focuses on logical and accurate thought patterns. It focuses on the formal structure of truth and argument. And finally, axiology. It sets values desirable to live by, any time or place. It is divided into ethics, which is it concerns with good or evil, and into moral and aesthetic values, subjects as GMRC and values education.